reproduction in animals. The members of animal kingdom show a big difference in reproduction ways. Mostly they produce sexually, but there are some animals which reproduce sexually and asexually. The basic structure of the reproductive system in animals is similar, although there are some differences in reproduction habits and fertilization ways which made many changes, especially in vertebrates. So we will study some examples about reproduction and reproductive system in individuals of animal kingdom. Reproduction in Hydra. Hydra belongs to class Hydrozoa. They are most sea-living animals, but there are some that live in fresh water too. It lives individually or in colonies. Colony term, we use the colony terms as for a group of organisms which live together in nature and they share the labor between them. The ideal life cycle of Hydra is in two stages. Asexually stage, the polyp, while the sexually stage is medusa. Notice that the Hydra of fresh water does not have sexual stage. Medusa, some kind of Hydra has sexual stage only without asexual stage. But as a result, Hydra reproduce asexually and sexually in both two ways. These two pictures are included in exam about their body structure. The mouth, the part which animal takes food from their environment, tentacle and arm-like structures which use it for movement and also in capturing of food. The gastrointestinal cavity is the digestive system of the animal. The food absorbed in that part, food is digested. Useful parts are absorbed, but non-useful parts are again discharged through the mouth. The invertebrate animals like Hydra, their body made up of two layers, embryonic layers which we call them ectoderm, endoderm, but between these two layers there's a fluid layer which is known as mesoglea. In vertebrates, in what will be studied in chapter 4, the body is made up of three complete layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, but in vertebrates the middle layer is a fluid known as mesoglea. The medusa body structure is similar, like one only upside down, a converted image. Again, mouth is which food is absorbed. Gastrointestinal cavity, gastro means stomach, while intestinal means intestine. Digestive system which digests the food, useful food absorbed, while the equasts are again discharged through the mouth. The tentacle are arm-like structure which capture the food and use it for movement, and also body made up of two layers, outer layer ectoderm, inner layer endoderm, and the fluid layer which is mesoglea. Hydra reproduce asexually by budding. We remember the bud from the plants, a new growing part from the nodes of plant, we call it bud, but in similar way, a new animal grow on the mother animal. In simple animals like in Hydra also we call it a bud. So this kind of reproduction is budding. And this kind of reproduction happens when the food is available. Generally, animals reproduce asexually when the food is available, because asexually method, large number of animals are produced in a short time, so a large amount of food is needed. So mostly at the beginning of the last third part of the body forms a little bulge like a swelling, call it bud, which contain vacuole that represent the vacuole of the mother plant. This vacuole means the body of Hydra, two layers, and make what? Make a bulge like this, tentacles, and the mouth of animals. So the cavity of bulb, the cavity of mother. The bud grows, extend when it reaches a suitable size at the far end. Grows when reach a suitable size. The mouth forms. At mouth forms, it forms the tentacles. During the several days, the body growth appears as a complete formatted small animals which is connected to the mother, made up of 2 layers as mother, body cavity look like mother, mouth is formed to absorb food, has tentacle to capture food, means animal is ready for an independent life. So after a short period, it pinches off at the base of the bud, and which point which connected to the mother. Then the bud separate from the mother. When separate from the mother completely, so also it closes its base and grow and live independently. And the mother also repair the damaged wall in its body, so 2 separated complete plants are formed. But this new organism formation, which similar to mother, formed without formation of reproductive cells, so it is a kind of asexually reproduction. How it grows? It grows like bud formation from the stem of the plants. A new plant bulge grow and reach a suitable size separate from the mother. We call it budding. Another kind of asexual reproduction for Hydra, it's reproduced asexually, another by fragmentation, which means is the partition of animal, and then each of these separated parts grow into new complete animal. So if this Hydra separated, for example, in 4 parts, the tentacles and the mouth, then close its base and grow into new complete animal. If it is only the middle part of animal is taken, from the upper part make tentacles, forms its mouth at the base, close its base and grow into new animals. But only base of animal, again extend, form tentacles, forms mouth, and grow into new complete animal. So in that way, fragmentation is partition. Each of these parts regenerate itself and grow into a new complete Hydra. So Hydra reproduce asexually in 2 ways: fragmentation, regeneration, and budding. Fragmentation, regeneration, only one kind of asexually reproduction. Sexual reproduction in Hydra. Hydra is present in nature, either monoecious or hermaphrodite. So when hermaphrodite, the same animal has ovary and testes and able to produce male and female reproductive cells. There are some kind of Hydra separated, which one of them male and the other is female. Hydra gets stimulated to form ovaries and testes in a certain circumstances as changes in temperature, raising carbon dioxide in water. These 2 changes in autumn season stimulate Hydra to produce gonads. Gonads means reproductive organs, male or female is a general name, gonad. So ovary is a gonad, testis also a gonad. Gonad form in shape of bulge which is covered by the outer layer for the body wall. So if we draw a Hydra in that form, the testes usually take a cone shape in the upper half. If this part is the half of the animal, the upper half is a cone-shaped formed. But the ovaries are sphere structure, take position in the lower half, more spherical than make a cone shape and closer to lower disc, which means the base of Hydra. Testes are formed from interstitial cells. Interstitial cells are kind of cell found in the body or wall of Hydra, and they are not differentiated, mean they can differentiate to any kind of cell when it's needed. The interstitial cell forms spermatogonia, which passes through a sequenced formation stage, which will be studied at the beginning of chapter. Spermatogonia, primary or spermatocytes, secondary spermatocytes, spermatids, and mature sperms. then collects in an expanded structure which opens out to release the sperm in water, and it's find the way to the edge. So in testis, the male reproductive cell become mature, and the wall is split, and the cells are released out to fertilize the egg. In the lower half, the female reproductive organ ovary, also it originated from interstitial cells. Interstitial passes through mitosis to form number of oogonia. Oogonia is the first step in female reproductive cell formation. One of the oogonia is chosen and grow in a big size, but most of them small-sized cells around it. Big oogonia and number of small-sized cells. As egg being mature, also the external wall is split, so it's ready for fertilization. So the male reproductive cell are find their way to fertilize the egg. Egg fertilized, the zygote formed. After zygote formation, it not separated from the mother animal directly, but it covered by a hard protective layer, because we said the sexual reproduction in Hydra takes place in autumn season when temperature is decreased. So it covered by a hard shell to protect itself or resist the unsuitable environmental conditions, and wait until spring. In spring, the shell is broke and new Hydra comes out. So a new organism similar to mother is formed, but what we see, the same animal has male reproductive cell, also produce female reproductive cells. The sexual reproduction in Hydra is summarized in that picture, which is also included in exam. It starts with the male Hydra, which testes are located on the upper half, cone shape. The interstitial cells pass through spermatogenesis to form the mature sperms. As mature sperms formed and the external node split and they release, the ovaries are formed again from the interstitial cells, which are spherical shaped and located at the lower half of the animal, which closer to its disc. In the testis structure, when become mature, male reproductive sperms are formed, then the external wall split. The ovary structure, many number small-sized cells like follicle cells, and one ooblast grow in size, pass through oogenesis stage to form mature egg cell. Egg become mature, also the external wall split. The sperm are released, find their way to fertilize the egg. Egg is fertilized, then the zygote formed. Zygote covered by hard protective wall to resist unsuitable environmental conditions, and in spring young Hydra comes out. So if we follow the picture, number 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and number 7.